Today I'm going to talk about home security if you live in the middle of nowhere. Probably if I screamed as loud as I could actually get a massive 1,000-watt loudspeaker and shout help, and nobody would help me. So one of the things you can do is you can feel a bit vulnerable to being robbed. And I've heard about quite a few people on the coast that have been robbed, or even people entering in their house. But we have some typical things like this. This is a security window, but really that's nothing. People could break through that in 2 seconds. Also, even this is quite a good security door, but people will break through that in no trouble. But in my opinion, the best thing to do for security is have your entire house bristling with security cameras that are well connected, so that whatever happens, you're going to get whoever broke into your house. And there's no way, whatever they do, you've got good footage and filming of what of them entering your house. Of course, if you live in a house that you have to drive to rob you, then the most important thing is you've got many cameras on the road that comes to your house. So you've got their number plate and everything about them, everything about their car, which they're going to use to drive away with your stuff in it. But this video is just is concentrating on the inner bit of the house where you actually live in, not on the place where people would come in and drive up to the house. But my wife just said, "Are you crazy? You're making a video showing about how you run your internal security system." Well, I've got so much confidence about this system that my attitude is, bring it on. Come and try and rob me and see what's going to happen to you. Actually, I think it's now 4 years ago, the only other person that's tried to damage our house, they've got a 3 months suspended jail sentence. That's a sort of, they didn't actually go to jail, but they got a criminal record, so that's not very nice. Anyway, so our entire house is bristling with cameras. Here in our lounge, we've already got 3 high quality cameras. But the most important thing of anything is that if I was a robber and I just came through one of these windows, you may have been recorded. But the thing is, what's going to happen to the actual recording? You see this camera here? Actually, this camera's here. What I like about this camera, you see it's tracking me? You see it's tracking us around? Come on. It tracks us around. So it can recognize humans and it follows you around. But anyway, that's another thing. The most important thing is that you save whatever happens through the camera. It goes immediately over the internet, and it's saved somewhere on the cloud. But a lot of these camera companies sell you incredibly expensive, monthly rate to save your stuff on the cloud. But if you really want to have, if you only want to have a good system, you've got to have lots of cameras saving lots of stuff to the cloud, and that will become incredibly expensive. So what I do is I contract an FTP service, and it's much cheaper. So you basically just pay for the storage, but you don't pay for the ridiculously expensive policies from Foscam or something like that. But anyway, later I'm going to do a little bit of a video later to explain how you do that. But one really important thing is, if someone up the top of in another part of the house, they shorted your electricity system, all your cameras would go off. Then they could just enter into your house with none of the cameras working. This is why all my cameras, you see this You see this, it's a mini USB battery backup. So 20,000 milliamp hours. So basically this will power the cameras for 12 hours, totally independently. If someone breaks into our house and somehow destroys our electric system or shorts it out or does something, then these cameras will still continue working, and they will continue to have a connection to internet for 12 hours. So even if some clever person thinks, oh, we're going to cut off the electricity and then come in, well, the cameras are going to still be working. Another thing, someone said to me, is it really true you can get a Wi-Fi jammer so that you couldn't actually connect through Wi-Fi? Well, who cares if you get rid of Wi-Fi, because we're still connected by Ethernet cables. So even if you manage to get to knock down our Wi-Fi connection with some sort of jammer, I suppose, you've got to get through these cables. And the only way you're going to get through these cables is either through these windows or through that door. But the moment you come in through that door, you're going to be recorded. This camera is pointing towards all those windows and door. This camera has got an automatic tracking system which will actually track round to recognize humans. Then, the moment it's recognized a human, or it's recognized they can recognize sounds. And so the moment it recognizes any movement whatsoever, because when we're not here, this room will be completely silent and dark. The moment any activity is recognized, they will start sending those images to the cloud. So even if the robber comes into this house, thinks, oh, I'll steal that camera, the images of them will be already stored on the internet, absolutely with no access for anybody, so they can smash that up. But also, their car and their number plate will also be recorded from when they came with their car. Anyway, if they could maybe park 300 meters away, and then no thief is going to park 300 meters away and walk to your house and then come and steal stuff and walk back. Just not going to happen. So I will have recorded by secret cameras their number plate as they came to the house. So any robbery will be a simple case of downloading all the videos, going to the police and saying, hey, these are the people that robbed me. Here's what their car looks like. Here's their number plate, and there you go. So it will be upsetting to be robbed, but it's not quite so upsetting that the people who did it, you're going to get them, which is quite nice. And then once the word gets around in the criminal world around there that your place is a bad place to steal from, because they're going to go down, like the people with the 3 months prison sentence on them, they're not going to come round again, and they're going to avoid you. So in the next bit of the video, I'll explain a little bit how you get that FTP thing. This is actually me in the setup program of the. Oh, you can see that's the sounds coming back through. This is me on the camera setting up the configuration of the camera. But normally, all of these modern cameras have an app you can do this. You don't need to do. This is the desktop version. You can do exactly the same thing. You can see me on here. You just go into settings, and most cameras will have these things. You go into settings, and then you set up the FTP account, and then you set up the alarm systems. Normally these cameras will save themselves to the SD card, but I also save to the SD card. Maybe you get a camera that can take 128 gigabytes. So if you have a camera up high that some thief can't actually climb up some ladders to get, then just having them on an FTP card is good as well. The thing I didn't mention earlier is that it's a good idea to have a couple of cameras that work on solar power also, that have their own telephone chips in. So it doesn't matter what happens, even if someone works out that you can take your electricity system down, and it doesn't matter how much time they're going to wait, that you'll always have a camera recording. And of course, the main thing is to get them before they enter your house, so that you've got their car number plate. Because even when someone's going to come and case your house, they're going to investigate. They may be clever enough to cover their own number plate, but you're going to get that number plate. And so when you get robbed, you're going to know about it because your system's going to go down. And you even get those solar powered cameras. They're going to tell you what happened, even if someone's managed some clever enough to get through your entire security system. But that's how you do it. And the other thing I should say, the company I use to for the FTP program is a company called cloudtb.com. I looked around for a while, and this seems quite cheap. You see, if you get your camera set to only record when an alarm goes off rather than recording every single thing that happens, you probably don't need that amount of space. But so you could do it for as cheap as €12 a year if you only had 100 gigabytes of space. But if you really wanted to be certain, you could get a terabyte of space that would be 120 a year. But like I say, probably the best thing to do is to have some high up cameras, maybe up trees or something with solar panels, recording to maybe 128 gigabytes of SD card, which no thief's going to climb up and get that down again. And the other footage will recorded, just the alarms will be recorded, and that means most people would have enough room with 100 gigabytes. Especially if you have some of the cameras inside your house, and the only way they would ever record if someone opened the door or came into it. Anyway, that's the way I protect myself, and I suppose I'm a bit obsessive and a bit crazy, and I've spent a lot of money on it. But when you live in the middle of nowhere, it does make you feel a bit insecure that someone may rob you. I just heard of a nasty case on the coast when some thieves actually entered someone's house when they were actually sleeping. But if that happened to me, they'd be going down.